Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's the word? What's going on? How everybody doing out there? Y'all already know what it is, man. We are back again. It's time for another bonus banger, y'all. That's a lock. It's Friday bonus banger, man. That's a lock, and I got one. I keep a banger at all times. But like I always say before I start these videos off, man, I have no problem delivering this content to everybody that's out there working hard, working the 9 to 5. Everybody that's out there with their own business, getting to that bag the legit way. I make sure y'all got something to watch in the mornings, man. I promise y'all there's no problem on my end. I also have no problem making sure I'm warning y'all and telling y'all about how dangerous prison is. I only ask for one thing in the process, and that's for y'all to just stay out the way, man. Come on, man. We got to. Like, it don't make no sense to just keep doing crimes and running around thinking we just gonna do what we want and like it ain't no consequences to these things, man. A lot of y'all out here running around, y'all don't even know the consequences to this stuff, man. Y'all don't even know how much time you're gonna receive. Y'all don't even know what y'all be doing can get you a lot away from your family forever. A lot of y'all know that and a lot of y'all don't, man. The ones that do know that, it makes you even more dumber, man, because I really didn't know what type of crimes I was doing to get me the type of time I was gonna get, man. I really didn't know that, man. But now that I know, man, I'm not doing nothing. Now that I've been in that place, I'm never going back to that place, man. I'm never going back to that place, man. I want y'all to do the same thing. I want y'all to think about what y'all doing before y'all do it. I already know we live out in a dangerous world, man. Don't get me wrong. I already know we got to safe it up at all times. But at the end of the day, man, you got to be on defense, man. You can't be somebody out here just running around doing drills and just think nothing's going to happen to you, man. Once you live in that life, you got to worry about the cops and the ops, man. And you know what that equals out to? You having no life. That's what that equals out to, man. No life for you, man, because everywhere you go, your head got to be on a swivel and you got to watch your back everywhere, man. And not only that, you put your family life at danger. We can't be doing that, man. Let's turn our life around right now, man. Stop what we doing and just stay out the way, man. It make more sense to live a life of staying out the way. You can stay out the way if you really want to, man. If you put your mind to it, man. I'm letting you know now. Just stay out the way. Period, man. But y'all already know what it is, man. This is a bonus banger. So what did y'all do this one? Like, share, subscribe, y'all. Let's go. But it's time for business. It's time for business, y'all. And the story I got for y'all today is called Unc Was a Businessman. Part 1. Crazy story, crazy situation. But we are aware, people. We in penitentiary, man, where crazy things happen all the time, man. I'm telling y'all, like, for real, you have some people in there just really like taking a lot of risks, man. They like just doing things that they feel like can make them $1, or they might try to feel like this is a great hustle for them, man. But like, when you take a responsibility for stuff like that, man, like when you actually doing jobs like that, when you actually trying to hustle like that, and you know, you might be doing something that could be danger or could put you in danger, man. A lot of people are willing to take those risks in prison, man. But the thing about taking those risks in prison, man, that a lot of things can happen to you if you don't complete the mission. A lot of stuff can happen to you, man. Like you can get hands and feet put on you, man, or even worse, man. So you got to be careful when you're doing these type of missions, y'all. So with that being said, though, we on Lawrenceville for this, y'all. We on Lawrenceville. And I can remember being in 30 building for this one, y'all. And it was like around this time in 30 building, man. This is my first time in 30 building. This is kind of like in the early stages of me being in 30 building, but I done been in there a year and change. I'm a 30 building representative now. I done been in there. A lot of people know me, man. I'm cooling, y'all. I'm chilling, man. Like everybody that was in that building, like it was a perfect situation to be a 30 building person. They'd be somebody that was in 30 building, man. Like it was a perfect building, man. Like everybody in there was on the same page. Yeah, they had maniacs running around, but every prison has maniacs running around, man. The difference between no maniacs on Lawrenceville is that they would think before they really do some maniac stuff, man. But like the ones that were crash outs, they never would last long on Lawrenceville, period. But we had a building, man, where it was 3 pod. We had a building where it was 3 pods in the building, man. Y'all know I'm in 33 pod. Crossing me was 31 pod. In the middle of the building, it was 32 pod, which is the honor pod, man. So the honor pod was like a bigger pod than both of the pods, like 31 and 33. Like 33 on 32 pod like was like longer, like pause, like it went further back, and they had 2 microwaves, they had more phones, they had more cells, so it was like it looked crazy to be in your building, but they used that for the honor pod. So like it was a lot of people in there, man. Majority, it was a lot of old heads in there too. Like it was some young dudes in there, not a lot. I would say you can count the young dudes on your hand that was in that block, because majority of the dudes that was in there was really dudes that was like on layback mode. Like, yo, these dudes ain't getting in trouble. These dudes gonna be on Lawrenceville forever, man, because like it ain't nothing else to do but just chill. You in the honor part, you done made it. That's what it feel like for a prisoner. So with all that going on in the building, man, it made a great building. Because even with us in those blocks and those other blocks, 32 pod, like even though they was chilling, they still had a lot of masterminds and like dudes that you still like to get to the money quietly. And that's who used to be over in that block, man. So I had a lot of cool friendships with dudes that was in that block, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like I met a lot of dudes that was over there. And sometimes I would go 229 over there and kick it, because my man Ty was over there at first. That one I used to say that was in 40 building. When he went to the Hope 40 building, he ended up getting lucked up and getting moved to the honor part over there. So he was one of the younger dudes that was over there, but they let a maniac over there. He was a psycho, but I used to go over there in 229, use his jack, because he had a jack. So like I knew a lot of people that was in that block, man. Like it was a cool situation. But I can remember this one old head that was in there, man. And I used to call him OG. I used to call him Unc. I used to call him all the old head names, but we gonna call him Paul. You know what I mean? So through the story, I might be saying all of them jumps, man. But like for real, man, Paul, he was like an old head that been down a minute. You know what I mean? Like he was down a minute, and for real, like he was somebody that like always liked to give advice and like, you know, cool with the administration. Then been a lot of prisons, you know what I mean? So like he had experience in doing time. But when I met him when I was on the other side of the yard, because he worked in the library. So that was the first time me and him actually had conversations, because I used to always sign up to go to the library. If I could holler at Hot Rod and them all the way on the other side, I'll tell bro to meet me in the library. So we'll go to the library and kick it sometime, you know what I mean? So that's when I met old head at. So when I met him, you know what I mean? Like he was a cool dude. Like he wasn't on it like, he was on no BS. He already know a lot of dudes that used to sign up and come to the library. Majority of them used to do that just so they can meet people, you know what I mean? So like, you know, we'll still go in there and get something to read. I'll go in there and look at the latest newspaper or the latest Virginia Pilot from where I'm from, our newspaper, or I'll go in there and look at a magazine, or I might go even look at a book, you know what I mean? I'll get a book from time to time, but when I got to Lawrenceville, I ain't even gonna hold y'all, I wasn't reading no more books. It was too much going on Lawrenceville for me to be reading books, man. So like, that's not what I was doing. But when I had met Paul, like, Paul was somebody that I had heard one time that he had the D block. And it was a shocker to hear that he had D block, you know what I mean? Because he was so low key. And I remember he told me he was in the honor part of 32, me and him used to kick it. But he had told me though, he was like, hey, look, if you know somebody over there looking for something, man, let me know, you know what I mean? He was like, we can facilitate through you, keep it quiet. I don't like my business out there. Don't nobody really know I got it. I don't. He made sure he broke that down, you know what I mean? Because he's in the honor part, he can't really take a lot of risks, because if he get tore off, not only he's gonna get transferred, he's gonna get kicked out the honor part. That's not what he wants. So he's trying to keep everything low. So when he came to me and told me that he had the D block or whatever the case, I told him, I said, all right, oh, this one I was still over in San Francisco. I was like, look, I'll see what's going on. I'll see what's going on. Long story short, I ended up finding him a play. Dude said he wanted to spend $200. So I basically told dude to sign up for the library. I got myself out of the deal. I brought him to the library. Before I even introduced him to Paul, I made sure I pulled Paul to the cut of the library. And I told him, like, look, bro, this the dude right here. He gonna try to spend $200. So I'm gonna introduce y'all. I'm out the deal. He was like, oh, all right, that's cool. So I made the play. You know what I mean? I put them together with it. So somebody used to come to the library, I used to always be weak, because Paul used to always be sitting behind the little desk, you know what I mean? Like he was the owner of the library, you know what I mean? He always behind the little desk. It used to be a lady that used to work in the library, and it used to be him. So he used to always be behind the desk, like he, you know what I mean? Like he the owner of the library. Paul was kind of like a fat dude a little bit too, man. He was probably like 6'1", kind of fat dude, bald head game, no facial hair game, you know what I mean? He looked like a regular old head in the face, but he still was all right though, but he used to think that library was his. You know, that was okay though, because he been down a minute. So I can remember one time it was me and my homeboys that we came down there, we were just kicking it, and we was all just laughing and joking, you know what I mean? We was all laughing and joking now. Pardon me on this one, y'all, but I'm back in 30 building now, around this time when I'm seeing Paul in the library, but we all in the library just laughing and joking, like, so lady telling us keep it down a little bit, so we joking. So Paul walked over to jump, so we was like, yeah, Paul, I was telling him back when I was on Susses, man, I was one of the youngest dudes that just got the Susses too, so I'm telling him all this, and he was like, Susses too? He was like, man, look, I ain't want to come to that camp, man. He was like, man, look, I went to Red Onion when it opened up. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah, I went to Red Onion. I was like, how you get to Red Onion? What you do, stab somebody? He was like, nah, it's just because of my time. I was like, why? He was like, yeah, no, you know, like, I already been bitten, man. Y'all don't know, I've been down already a minute, man. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah, I've been gone already a long time. I'm like, man, how long you been gone? He was like, man, I've been locked up since 88. So when he said that, I'm like, so all us already be joking. Like, I already had lit the Feezy up before I even came there. We already was lit. So I'm down there meet my homeboys. We all laughing and joking. So I'm like, 88? I'm like, man, that's crazy, man. I looked at my homeboy. I said, man, that's crazy, man. OG fell back when Jay-Z was getting money. I said, man, that man fell when Jay-Z was with him, man. That's crazy on the streets. My homeboy was like, man, he been locked up so long. He got locked up when Jay-Z was actually hanging with Emory Jones. Like, my fault, y'all. This is why I wish I could laugh. That's where we were frying Paul. So he's standing there like, who Emory Jones? We like, man, look, don't worry about it, man. You know what I mean? Like, y'all know we done heard the song when Jay-Z put on Kingdom Come. That I know when he talk about how Emory Jones got locked up. So we frying him. We frying him, y'all. Point blank, we frying him. And he like, man, that's crazy. Like, man, oh, you been down, what, 23, 24? We like, yeah, 23 and change. 23. I'm like, crazy, man. That's crazy, man. Like Michael Jordan game? You know what I mean? That's wild right there. So he like, yeah, but like, what don't allow you make you stronger though, I do my time how I do my time. So my other homie was like, when you going home? Then he was like, I don't know. I gotta go off for parole, but I got life though. We was like, whoa. So that kind of like calmed everybody down. Like, yo, the jokes is over with. Like, I felt bad actually joking this man, and this man just told us he had the elbow game, man. I promise y'all, man, jokes was done. So boom. I was like, yo, Paul, ain't my fault, bro. I ain't mean to be joking like that, man. Real talk, man. Like, I ain't know you had life, man. He was like, no, that's all right, Weezy, man. He went back, started messing with the books. He was like, yeah, it's cool, man. Like, I'm gonna get out one day, man. My nose been clean for a long time now, man. So, hopefully one of these days they give me parole, man. So I'm like, man, that's crazy though, man. I was like, yo, like, never going home though, Paul. How that feel though, bro? I ain't trying to be funny though. Like, how that feel though, bro? I said, cause I used to complain about my time. He was like, how much time you got? I was like, man, 18 years. He was like, shh. When you get locked up? I was like, in 2000. He was like, shh, man, you about to go home. I was like, man, I mean, easy for you to say, man, but I'm just like, man, that's crazy. He was like, man, look, I just try not to think about it. He said, I put myself in here, so once I had to live with having to put myself in here, then I can live with doing my time. So that's just how I do my time. We start moving some more books. I'm like, man, that's what's up. So my other homework came and it was like, yo, Paul, my bad, man. So we all dapped him up, man. Like, we all that felt bad because Paul was a good guy at the end of the day, man. Paul will run the play. He already know half of the time we coming down that jump to shuck and jive or either make a play with some money or do something, man. Like, so after we had fried him up, man, when he told us how long he been locked up, man, or how long when he got locked up, we all felt bad about that, y'all. So like, we end up leaving out, you know what I mean? So I go back to the building. Now I'm in the pod, man. 30 building is like, like I told y'all, back to being 30 building. Like, it's a great situation that's going on over there. And like around this time right here, man, the phones are lit. The phones are jumping, man. The sack is jumping and the phones are jumping. I'm actually in the pod with dudes that's getting a pound. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes is actually striking for a freaking 16 janks every time they strike. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a lot of work that be in my building. Dudes in the honor pod striking for the pound game. Dudes in 31 pod striking for a lot. I'm talking about like the whole building was successful. I'm not joking with y'all, man. Like, this is even before like I started kind of like trying to get money like that. My whole thing first was like, yeah, I want to get money, but I'm gonna wait my turn. You know what I mean? But first thing first, man, like I gotta find a phone. So like that's what my main objective was: get a phone, then the worker come. So I ended up getting my first phone. So now that I have the phone, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm chilling, everything was good situation, whatever the case. But it was like after I got it, it didn't last long. You know what I mean? After I got it didn't really last long because me and my roommate was on some, like, we were letting everybody use it, and we was a rookie to the situation, and like, it wasn't our fault that we had to get rid of our phone, but the police ended up blitzing the pod. And when they blitzed the pod, we flushed the chick. You know what I mean? So now with the next phone, we was like, yo, we're going to be more careful with this joint. You know what I mean? So that's how we was carrying it. So we get another jack. So now we got another jack, man. It was like, it was cool having it and being more on point. But it was like, still wasn't like a concrete situation where we can hide these jacks at. You know what I mean? So it was like, I felt good at having one, but I didn't really feel good at having one, man. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to just make sure that I can just keep this joint alive, me and my roommate, without it getting knocked off, man. But, on Lawrenceville, anything can happen, y'all. So, boom. So I'll say probably about a month later, man. About a month later. You know what I mean? It's about a month later. It's probably like September or something like that. You know what I mean? Probably about September or something like that. And I can remember going to the library to meet my other homeboy that was on the other side of the yard. So when I go over there, Paul was in there, you know what I mean? So I see Paul, he's like, what you doing over here, Weezy? I'm like, chilling, about to meet my man. He was like, all right, you like, sit over here though, for that lady won't say no. I was like, all right. So I sat at the table, he told him. So I'm just over there looking at a magazine, like I'm just waiting for the other side of the yard to come. So I'm sitting in the chair. I feel my phone vibrate, man. I keep my phone on me. The phone is in my little cut, like in my pocket. I had like a little pouch in the front of my sweats, but I got my scrubs on and the sweats on. So it was like doubled up, but I got the junk right there. So I feel the junk vibrate. So I get up, and I walk over to the cut like by the books. And I made sure I looked to see Paul was at. Paul was behind the desk joint still. So I'm like, the lady wasn't even in there. So I walked and I'm being petty. This is Lawrenceville, so it's lit like that. I went to go see. It was texting me. I'm like, put the joint up. As soon as I turned around, Paul was like, now you know you ain't right, Weezy. I was like, go ahead, Paul, man. He was like, what you doing here looking at a phone, Weezy? I was like, man, listen, I had to check the junk, man. It ain't like that, man. He was like, you got a phone? I was like, yeah. He was like, everybody got a phone. Everybody got a phone. I was like, I already know. He was like, where you be hiding your phone at? I was like, what you mean where I be hiding my phone at? He was like, I'm asking you, where you be hiding your phone at? I said, man, I keep it on me, man. He was like, well, what you gonna do when they do institutional lockdown? I was like, what you mean what I'm gonna do when they do institutional lockdown? He was like, man, look, what you gonna do when they do institutional lockdown is what I'm asking. I'm like, man, I don't know. He was like, what you gonna do if you ever hear about them about the blitz the compound? What you gonna do then? I was like, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, man. He was like, look, see, you don't know what's going on. You gotta be on point, man. He was like, look, come sit over here. I was like, wait, what's up? Sat down. He was like, look, I got a proposition for you. I was like, what's the proposition? He was like, every time all institutional lockdowns or anytime you hear about something about to go on that's some shaky business for the next day, he was like, look, I'll hold the phone for you. I was like, you'll hold the phone. I was like, where you gonna hold the phone and put it at though, Paul? Like, what you talking about? He was like, I'm gonna put it in a stash. I got a good stash box for it. I said, what kind of stash box you got for it, man? So he told me what he had, you know what I mean? He told me what he had. He was like, he got a spot. That's in the office where he go, man. I'm not gonna say where in the library where this spot was at. I'm not gonna say that because I don't know if anybody remixing this or not. But what he did say, he was like, look, he made a hole in the library, you know what I mean? He was like, sometimes that's why he hide his stuff at. And he was like, it's a dude that he rock with in the honor pod that he be hiding his stuff in there too. So he was like, look, I can't show you, I can't do none of that, but you just gonna have to believe me. And he was like, it's a guaranteed lock every time, you know what I mean? So I'm like, so you saying the police ain't finding this, man? He was like, the police ain't gonna find it. And I made it nice and deep where I could put whatever I want in there and I know how to get it out and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I'm like, so you sure it's a goat? He was like, man, I promise you it's a goat. So I'm like, so what you want for this junk though, man? He was like, man, $50. Every time I gotta hide it, $50. So I'm like, $50? He was like, yeah, $50 green dot. Every time I gotta hide it, $50. So I'm like, so you telling me it's a lot, though, is what you're saying? He was like, yeah, it's a lot, Weezy. I'm telling you, it's a lot, man. I'm like, man, all right, man, we're gonna find out. You know what I mean? We're gonna find out, man. So I'll say probably about a week later, I had kind of forgot about the conversation me and him had, you know what I mean? Like it kind of just went away a little bit. Like, I don't know, crazy stuff, but I had forgot me and we had that conversation. So like, you know, I was gonna revisit the situation, but I had forgotten about it. But it was a situation that ended up happening that they were saying that a dude that's supposed to got poked that was in 31 pod. Now, it don't be no stabbings on Lawrenceville, you know what I mean? It don't be no stabbings on Lawrenceville, man. But sometimes it'll get crazy, man, because it was a lot of red and blue team and GDs up there. So like anything can happen. They can pop at any given time. Like if people chilling, but at the same time though, like what can you, like you can't chill with so much. So sometimes things happen. So they said it was a situation where they supposed to have crossed the dude out on the red team, got him out the crew, and somebody had poked him while they was banking him. Now they said they didn't poke him to the point where he freaking unalived or something like that, but it was like his arm was hit up, his shoulder, you know what I mean? So when he went to medical, they seen the hits. So they was like, look, they supposed to be coming to shake our building down. 30 buildings supposed to get shook down. So that was the word. So I'm like, when I hear the word, my roommate go to diabetic call, he come back like, yo, you know they supposed to be shaking our building down tomorrow. I'm like, for real? I'm like, yeah, bro. So like they said tonight, we ain't coming back out, you know what I mean? So I'm like, man. So he was like, what we gonna do with the phone, bro? I'm like, man, I was like, yo, that's when I broke down to him, like, yo, look, Paul, how? And he's like, who? I'm like, oh, head Paul, and 32 Paul, and 100 Paul. He was like, oh, all right. I broke it down to him. So he was like, you think it's official? I was like, man, the man want $50 though. I was like, you want to go half with me and just try it out? He was like, you think it's a lot? I was like, yeah. He was like, if it's worth it, yeah, we need to do that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, look, can you get the $50? I'm going to pay you the 25 back. You know what I mean? So my roommate went on and took care of the business. We get the $50 green dot because his people's were more like on point to be able to do that faster. So he get the $50. So I tell Popcorn to tell somebody call Paul to the top door because Popcorn be over by the laundry area. So Popcorn say, Weezy, he at the door. So I come around the joint. You know what I mean? I like, hey, Paul. He was like, hey, what's up? I was like, look, man, I need you to goddamn hold this jack for me, man. You know they have. He said, yeah, they told me we're supposed to be shaking our building down tomorrow. I said, all right, look, I'm about to drop the junk. So I dropped it on the floor. I used to keep it in a little Scrabble bag, the little black bag with the little string on it. So I dropped it on the floor. The top door at the bottom part is enough space at the bottom. They do what I'm doing. So when I dropped it on the floor, I kind of just kicked it with my foot. I was like, you see it, Paul? He was like, yeah. I was like, look, the green dot is inside the bag. I said, it's $50 in there, man. I said, look, just go ahead and put it up, man, till they finish this junk, man. He was like, I got you. I said, look, hey, Paul. He come at the door. He's like, what's up? I said, man, you sure it's a lot, man? He was like, Weezy, trust me, man. It's a lot, man. I've been doing it already, man. You think I be charging somebody $50 if they want no lock? I said, I was about to ask you the same question, man. I was like, man, just make sure though, Paul, man. He was like, I got you, man. Sweet deal. You know what I mean? I go back to the cell. My roommate like, everything good? I'm like, everything is good. So everybody running around scrambling like eggs. Everybody running around because we about to get locked down. Everybody know the count. So they end up coming in our junk that morning. We already knew they was coming that morning because at night when we supposed to get our last rec to 11:30, they didn't let us out. You know what I mean? So we already knew it was duct tape. We already know it was over with. So that next morning, everybody was like, yo, the police in 31 Pod, super deep. They got everything over there, the stretcher. They got everything. The stretcher is where they keep the little x-ray machine and all of that. It was like, yo, they super deep over there. So I wake up to hear that. I look up, the lady coming in our pod, about to pass some trays out. Now, we don't got tray slots in Lawrenceville. They got the door. Our door got to get open. They got to fully open our door. You know what I mean? But they was doing it like letting us come out. She was putting the trays on the table and letting 5 cells out at a time. Everybody walk out, grab their tray, go back in. You know what I mean? And that's how they was doing the feeding. So everybody coming out to get their tray. So when I came downstairs to get my tray, I had looked. It was massive police in the hallway. Massive. So we ate. By the time we ate, they came in our jump. You know what I mean? They shook us down. The jump was so crazy, man. They said they went over in 32 Pod. They only took them 30 minutes to do their jump. They was like, they barely was shaking them down. Man, they came in our jump, destroyed our jump, man. 3 dudes went down for cell phones. And these were dudes that wasn't their cell phones. They were the dudes that was holding somebody else's cell phone. But 3 dudes went down, y'all. So boom. That jump was crazy, man. So like I wasn't feeling like I was about to be like getting news that our phone was gone. But to see 3 dudes in our pod go down for cell phones was nuts. That jump was crazy, man. So once the shakedown was all said and done, Lawrenceville done bootleg. That morning we was coming off rec. They done us dirty the whole day. By that next morning we was going to breakfast. So when I come out for breakfast, I see Paul, you know what I mean? When I see him, he like, hey, what's up, Weezy? I'm chilling, man. He was like, hey, look, man, I'm gonna holler at you later on. You hear me? I'm like, yeah. He was like, I'm gonna holler at you when I get back from work. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. So my roommate, he was like, everything straight. I was like, he said he gonna holler when we come from work. So Paul be getting back from work probably like 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? So waiting for him to get off work. I was sitting on the table. Somebody say, Weezy, somebody want you at the door. So I get up, go to the door and look. I see it's Paul. He like, hit the button. Let me out. I step out. He was like, step over here. We stepped over here by the ice machine. He was like, I was like, appreciate that jump, man. Appreciate that jump, man. Appreciate that jump. I'm happy now. He was like, yeah, I told you, man. He was like, yeah, look, tell them motherfucking rookies over there in y'all pod too that I got the spot, nigga. Anytime it's something like this, nigga, they need to holler at me, nigga. You know why? Because I'm a businessman.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.